Hi there, it's Queen Weirdo again, and welcome back to my channel, and I'm so happy that you're here. In my last video, I talked a little bit about trauma and ACEs scores and things like that, and how it actually literally affects your brain. Those are all things that I'm very interested in, and how, like, the psychological, emotional, and physiological, how that all comes together. But I did want to clarify something. If a person does have trauma, we can have compassion, of course, and we should. But what we're trying to do when we're talking about this is we don't want to get into a rut where we're saying, okay, I've experienced trauma, therefore I'm doing things this way, and that's as far as you're going to go. What we're trying to do here is get to a place where our normal is in a more healthy place. For those of us who've suffered, that can be hard work, and but it's so worth it. Anything that we do in this life that's worth doing is going to be hard. I've watched a good bit of our girls' videos, and I do have some opinions, which is why I'm even doing these videos, because like I mentioned before, I either stop watching or I start saying stuff. So here we are. I promise you, I'm not saying any of this to be mean. I do not hate either any of the girls out there that are doing these things. I don't hate them at all. I care, and that's kind of why I'm doing these videos, rather than yelling at my phone. Today I'm going to talk about Chantal, and I believe that she has not suffered, this is my opinion, okay, but I believe that she's not suffered trauma in the sense that we think of it, okay, like she didn't suffer chronic trauma. However, I do believe that she was probably, again, in my opinion, emotionally neglected. And I say that because I don't think that her mom meant to do that. I think that I know that her mom was a single mom for a while, and that is a tough place to be. And she did eventually remarry, and then all of a sudden, blended families are also very difficult. That's also a very tough place to be. So she could have been put on the back burner, you know, and she may have been acting out, and mom just didn't have energy to deal with it. I don't know. I wasn't there, and I don't know nearly enough about her past, but just the little pieces that I've picked up from her videos, the videos that I've watched, and even some reaction channels and some documentaries and things like that. And that's kind of my opinion. So she's definitely got daddy issues, as evidenced by her baby talk with Salah in particular. Although that baby talk happens elsewhere, it's usually when she wants something, or she's, you know, not getting something that she wants. But she definitely, that baby talk is a big sign there. And also evidenced by the fact that she doesn't know how to emotionally regulate, other than with eating. That's obviously become a big problem for her. She's kind of suffering the consequences with the health issues that she's run into. Considering the fact that she's quite immature emotionally, she isn't able to emotionally regulate. She, on a whim, because daddy issues again, she found someone who would even just pretend to love her, and within 2 weeks or whatever it was, a very short amount of time, moved to the other side of the world, to a culture and a country she had no clue about. She's gotten some information, which is good, but it's obviously not enough for her to feel comfortable where she's at. Besides the heat issue, I actually get that. I let my hair grow out natural. I was sick of dyeing it, but I have very, very dark hair. I used to have very long dark hair, and being out in the sun, it just, oh my gosh, I would feel like I was having a stroke sometimes. But aside from that, she's over there. She doesn't do anything actually. So she's not leaving her house really unless it's at night or in the car. She has to know. I mean, I'm pretty caring, and I tend to be sometimes overly forgiving, and even I can see that Salah doesn't like her, which is such a shame. We all need to be with someone who at least likes to be around us, you know. I do feel bad about that for her, but she is the one who made the decision to go, and she did. Obviously, it was a really foolish thing to do, but here we are, you know. She's there and she's doing her thing, but the things that she's doing are quite clear to me, that, like I say, she has daddy issues. Also evidenced by the fact that all of a sudden now she's trying to do moral things, or she thinks she's trying to do moral things. She got some education on that, and you know, awesome. um, but it just goes to show she didn't appear to have this information before, or even if she did, she didn't really ingest it. She didn't know what she was, you know, she didn't want to deal with it. So here now she's getting some education, and now she knows. That just to me says that there's, you know, we're dealing with somebody very very immature emotionally, and has daddy issues and hasn't grown up. I think a lot of people have already seen that. When we're talking about Foodie though, there, like, she doesn't want to go to those meetings because she's shy. She's not really shy when she's in a place where she feels safe, like Canada, for instance. But here in Kuwait, she doesn't know anybody, and she doesn't really even know Salah. It doesn't appear that way, and so of course she knows that she's really big and that she's kind of a spectacle. She knows that, she's aware, and so, but here she doesn't know people well enough yet to know how they're going to well, she may actually, because she's already told us, like for instance, people don't pass gas in public there. They don't really hear either, and if you do that here in America or in Canada, you're still going to get looked at like, that's rude. That's rude. This is kind of what I mean too. We're talking about somebody very immature. Okay, so my real point here, without going too far into that right now, no matter the reason for the trauma, and no matter the reason why you might be where you are or why they are where they are, while on the one hand compassion is definitely key, okay, but we all have to learn how to make some better decisions for our lives, okay, and especially our girls. Our girls need to get better at this. Sometimes they are absolutely insufferable, but hopefully what I have to say will be helpful. Hopefully it'll be helpful not just for them, and if not for them, hopefully, you know, for one of you, if you're listening. As weird as it might sound, it's helpful for me also to at least say it. Okay, so I wanted to address something that Foodie keeps saying. She says this a lot, especially, I didn't really watch her before Kuwait, but I see her say this a lot. She always says, I'm so hungry. She's so hungry, and whenever I see her say that, I believe her. I believe her, because her belly is enormous, and when you see a big belly, generally that means insulin resistance at the very least, if not diabetes outright. And we know with her, she's got diabetes, and now she is on insulin. And so in her most recent mukbang, I did see her say that she thinks it's because of insulin. It's not necessarily the insulin she's taking, but it is because her insulin is high, and it's always high. And yes, that does make you hungry. So when we're talking about how do we at least ameliorate that, how do we, you know, fix it even, you want to eat in such a way that you are not raising your sugar so that your insulin will not go high. And we want to get as back to baseline as possible, like with insulin resistance. So not being insulin resistant. So that's what we want to do. The best diet to do that, okay? And I want to make clear here that I am not talking about just your regular average everyday person, you know, like the regular person who isn't diabetic, who isn't super morbidly obese, or even morbidly obese, okay? The person who is maybe has some weight to lose and can eat anything without danger to their body. That's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about somebody like Foodie, even somebody like me, okay, because I'm not super morbidly obese, but I am overweight, and I'll get into my story. I have lost quite a bit of weight recently. This is the thought process that I had, and I think I mentioned it in my last video. It's been a while, but I mentioned it before. I had to figure out how do I not raise my sugar. I wasn't even thinking about weight loss. I was thinking about how do I not raise my sugar so that my organs and my fingers and toes are not poisoned, you know, or die. So that was my thought process, just in a real small nutshell. When you're looking to reduce that insulin to a normal level, at least to normal as possible, when you are dealing with the comorbidities, what all the issues that come with being obese, super morbidly obese. You kind of got to go fast and be a little bit extreme, but not really, okay? And I'm going to explain that. So you want to not raise your sugar so that your insulin doesn't get raised, okay? That's the first thing. Now we got to decide what to eat, because every cell in your body, every single cell in your body is made up of what you eat. I mean, that's why it's fuel. We need to feed our body. We need to nourish our body as well. We don't just want to feed our stomach. We want to nourish our body, and we want to eat something that doesn't suck, that tastes good too. I happen to actually love cabbage, or even boiled cabbage, but that's not here. That's not here. What I'm trying to say is we want to eat high fat, but we want to make it good fat. All right. So good fat is going to be tallow and lard, or olive oil, or avocado oil, coconut oil. But take all those seed oils out. We'll talk about that another time if there's any interest in that. But so you want high fat. You want the fat in the meat, and you want moderate protein. You're not eating more meat than you are fat. Now I'm going to kind of qualify that a little bit. I don't count carbs. I don't count calories. I can't. I just, I think I mentioned I was a single mom for a long time. I mean, I'm still single. I'm still a mom, but they're all grown. But I didn't have time. I didn't have the mental energy to do that. So I just ate what I thought, it would be good. That's what we're looking to do. That's what we're looking to do. We're looking to eat in such a way that it's not going to raise our sugar. Okay, so we're going to do lots of meat and lots of fat and vegetables that are not root vegetables. No peas, no corn. Okay, I know that's very disappointing. That's a no when you're starting out. Okay, but you can eat as much as you want of what we're doing. Okay, of what we're eating. So you can eat as many hamburger patties as you want. I have a recipe if anybody's interested. It's actually a bun. It doesn't taste exactly the same as a real bun, but when you can't eat bread, or when you will not eat bread, it's a nice replacement. So you can have your sandwich or your hamburger or whatever. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let me know in the comments if you are interested in that recipe and seeing me cook those buns, and I would love to. So we're gonna eat a lot of good fat, a good amount of protein, like hard-boiled eggs, steak, hamburger, fish, chicken. Although I would always recommend chicken and pork and fish are sides to red meat. but that's my own opinion, and I'm going to talk about that maybe another video as well. I don't want this to get too long. That's what we're trying to do. We want to keep our insulin low. Okay, so we want to eat things that are not going to raise our sugar, so that our insulin doesn't go high, and then we're not starving. Okay, and on this when you start eating like this, and only like this, like I said, you can eat as much as you want. Just focus on that right now. Binge eat it if you want to. Just you can't eat too much. Like your body will tell you that you just can't fit any more in there. And you may still be able to, but do it. Just go ahead. Just eat as much as you want right now. Just deal with one thing. Okay? Just deal with changing the food that you eat, to not raise your sugar. And lastly, before we get to the cooking portion, I wanted to mention something. I am a little off. I made this video weeks ago. I'm a little off in it, and I didn't even show the cheese pull. What you're about to see in this video is I'm making a pizza casserole. We're kind of building off what we did last time with the cauliflower. We took the Faux potatoes, just added the mozzarella cheese, and we're gonna make that into pizza casserole. I had just had a spinal tap actually during that video, and I was very nervous waiting for the result, so I was a little bit off. I'll tell you the result about it of that whole thing another time, but I was off, and so if you happen to notice that, I know I'm very new, so you don't know if I'm off or not, but I'm telling you I was off. But in any case, let's go ahead and get to cooking. Hi there. Okay, so for our cooking portion today, we're going to be building on the recipe that we made last time in the last video. We made faux potatoes before. Today we're going to do the same thing, only we're going to add cheese when we process it, and I'll show you how that gets done when we get there. We're making pizza casserole. I'm going to top it with what I like, which is pepperoni and ground beef, and I'm going to season the heck out of the ground beef. It's going to be so yummy. But we're going to go ahead and cook the cauliflower like we did last time.
And that's going to take a stick of butter and about a half a cup of heavy cream. And then we're going to cook the ground beef. And then once all that's done, then we kind of process it, and then we'll put it all together. We're going to cook the cauliflower for about 30 minutes, between 20 and 30 minutes. I've been using this bowl for years. It's Pyrex microwave safe bowl. And this is about how full you want it, maybe a little bit more, but just one stick of butter, about a half a cup of heavy cream. All right, and then we're going to put it in the microwave. And this one here, though, was 2 cauliflower, because when we bought it, they were really tiny. Like, they had all this green and then just a little tiny cauliflower. So I used 2 in there. So that's 2 cauliflower in there. But in any case, that's what we're going to do. And then we'll see you in a minute. All right, I'm going to actually season the heck out of this. And so we're just going to use powdered everything today. So I've got garlic, just some shakes, however much you want, basil. I would say these are probably about a teaspoon. And I like a little bit of heat, so I'm just going to add a little bit of the red pepper flakes and a little bit of onion. That's probably about a teaspoon, maybe more. I don't know. A little bit of oregano and just a little bit of parsley, I guess. All right, so we're gonna cook that. Oh no, sorry, I forgot about the paprika. We're gonna add a little bit of paprika. All right, probably about maybe half to a full teaspoon. So we're gonna season the meat and cook that up, and we'll cook the cauliflower. All right, so our cauliflower is all done, and we're gonna go ahead and just, like we did last time, we're just gonna dump it in here. All right, and for this, I'm gonna add about a cup, a little more than a cup of mozzarella cheese. Now we're gonna process it. See, it's gonna be a little thicker, a little more gooey than last time. But so now we're gonna take this and we're gonna put it into our casserole dish. All right, and this is basically gonna be the base. So you're just gonna go like that. All right, just make it nice and flat. All right, and then we're gonna just add mozzarella cheese. I'm just gonna dump the rest of that, there's not much. And just however much you want. I mean, if you want to go a little or a lot. And with the ground beef, just letting you know, this is we like a lot of cheese. So with the with the ground beef, we're not gonna really drain it. This was 80-20, and that's all cooked. And also preheat your oven to 350. And now we're gonna go ahead and put the pepperonis on here. All right, doesn't have to look beautiful. We'll throw some bacon bits on there. All right, so now we're gonna throw it in the oven for 20 minutes. All right, it's all done. All right, look at that, it's pizza casserole. So you just scoop it out like that. And look at that, all that cheese, looks so yummy. All right, that's pizza casserole, very filling.
This was during a stressful time, as I mentioned, but it was still very tasty, very yummy to eat, even though it didn't look beautiful. And I wish that I had shown you the cheese bowl, but I didn't even think of it until we were all done. I'm like, oh, that would have been amazing. But at that time, I was trying to decide if I should even continue with the videos, but I decided to go forward with them because, I don't know, I think it's going to be fun. And I love cooking, and I love talking about this stuff, so particularly how emotions can affect your body, and even about some of my own issues, will come up. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you wouldn't mind, you could leave a like if you liked the video. And until next time, I do care about our girls, and I also care about you.